Hi guys, last week I spoke about not being ready. This week I'd like to speak about comparison. How comparison is a killer. And I learned this lesson from my plants. So let me tell you. I planted a bunch of bulbs, 4 pots to be exact. And I put them all on my porch. I put 1 in one area, and then I put 3 in a different area. The one that I put by itself flourished. Beautiful flowers came out. The other 3, nothing. No, correction. They sprouted. I got 1 or 2 flowers. 1 pot didn't do anything at all. I'm still waiting for the flowers to come out of that pot. And I started to wonder, like, what is going on? Like, why are my plants not coming out of these 3? And I went over to the pot that was flourishing, and I looked at it, and I noticed that the soil stayed moist, where the other 3, the soil would dry up faster. But they still were growing. They didn't die. They didn't turn brown. They didn't do anything. They were actually green and healthy, but they were coming up slower. So I said to myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to move these 3 over to where that 1 is, because it's flourishing, it's doing well. And let's see what happens, because the soil is staying moist over here. Maybe that's what they need. So I did that. But remember, the soil was dry. So I added water to the 3 that were drying up faster, right? And I added a little bit to the one that was flourishing. I did that maybe twice. And one day I looked at the 3 that I had moved from the other side of my porch. And the little sprouts that were coming up that were green, they started to turn brown. Not only that, they looked like they were dying, like things weren't really happening. Now, the 1 or 2 that came out, they were fine, they were growing. But you have to understand the amount of bulbs that I put into these pots. It's like it's supposed to be like this great, big, beautiful bouquet. And I just got 1 or 2 out of each of the 3 pots. Whereas the one that's flourishing looks like a bouquet. And that's what I want. So I kept studying, like, what's going on here? Guess what? I added more water. I'm like, okay, maybe they still need some water. But then I'm like, no, it doesn't need any water, because they look like they're dying. Like, there's nothing happening. They're drying up, even though I'm giving them water. They're in the moist area. Nothing. And that's when I realized, like, Denita, you're comparing. You're comparing these 2 or 3 to that 1. And the environment that they were actually in, they were doing well, is because you decided that they need to move over to this new environment because this one was doing well. And now look, they look like they're dying. And that's when I got the realization. Comparison really is a killer, because you look at others doing maybe the same thing you want to do. They have the same setup, they have the same everything, and they're flourishing. And you, on the other side, are moving very slow, but you're still moving. And that's the part we forget, that you're still moving, but you want to go lightning speed with the other person, and wherever they're going or whatever it is they're doing is for them. It's not for you. So my takeaway from my plants, do not compare yourself to anyone or anything. Your environment, what you're doing, your pace, it's for you specifically. You will get to where you need to be as long as you stay the course and you're consistent. Never compare, ever, to anyone. That was my epiphany for the day from my plants. Could you imagine that? Until next time.